Most people think that becoming wealthy comes down to hundreds of little decisions in life. Avoiding coffee, canceling Netflix subscriptions, or even using coupons. But to be honest, I don't think that's the case. I think that your entire financial future is dependent on these 5 decisions that you'll make throughout your life. Get them right, and you could retire a millionaire. Get them wrong, and it could cost you well over $1 million. The first decision is going to be who you marry. Now, you don't need someone who earns $150,000, $200,000 a year, but you do need someone who shares your financial values. Having the same financial goals and spending habits as your partner is extremely important because you should both agree on where you shop, how much you spend on food, and what counts as a necessity versus something you just want. You and your partner should also have the same view about bad debt. So credit card debt, personal loans, or car debt, these are all bad debts. You should both be on the same page about taking out loans, when to pay them back, what actually needs a loan, and what should be bought in cash. And the most important thing is communication. Both people in a relationship need to be able to effectively communicate anything that happens, whether it's problems, mistakes, or even talks about money. When you're with your partner, you shouldn't be scared to talk about anything. You should be able to take your time, explain your side of the story, and figure out either some middle ground or have an agreement between each other. Having someone in your life that you can effectively communicate with will get rid of so many issues and make it so much smoother. The second decision is going to be the house that you buy. People don't usually go broke buying a house. They go broke buying too much house. For example, if you're buying a home that's $750,000 and you're putting down 20% over a 25-year mortgage, that's going to have an interest rate of about 4.5%. Your monthly payment will be about $3,334. And over the lifetime of this mortgage, it's going to cost you about $1 million. Now, if you're someone who thinks, I need the biggest, most luxurious house, let's say this will cost $950,000. So it's definitely not something you need, but it's something that you want, right? You want this. At $950,000 with still a 20% down payment and a 25-year mortgage at an average of 4.5% interest rate, so exact same as the other one, you'd be spending $4,224 a month on this house. And the total cost will be just about $1.3 million. So the differences we see between that $750,000 home and the $950,000 home is about $890 a month. If you took that $890 a month and invested it in the stock market instead of purchasing a home that you don't need, after 25 years, you're going to have over $1 million. So instead of having this more expensive, more luxurious home, you can have something that's a little more under the radar, plus have $1 million in investments. I think that's the better route. It's okay to buy the more expensive home if that's what you want. You just need to understand what you're actually giving up in the long term. The third decision is going to be your car. Let's take a look at 2 scenarios. If you're going out to buy a $60,000 financed new car, it has all the bells and whistles, it's super shiny, and it has that new car smell. Over a 60-month, which is a 5-year loan term, at about 6% interest, you're looking at $1,043 a month, just for this depreciating asset of a vehicle. Whereas on the other hand, if you spent $30,000 and financed a half-decent used car like a Toyota RAV4 or a Honda CR-V, and still at the same 60 months at 6%, you'd be only spending $464 a month. So you're saving about $580 a month, which is absolutely crazy considering that they both get you from point A to point B, except one of them is just a little bit more luxurious, maybe has leather, maybe has heated massaging and cooling seats. To be honest, you don't need 2 of those. You only need heated seats for winter here in Canada. If you took that $580 a month and invested it just for 5 years, which is 60 months, it would be worth $42,000. And now here's the catch. If you didn't add anything else to that money and you just kept that invested for another 20 years, it would be worth over $250,000. So if you forego this luxury car that's going to depreciate, and on the other hand, buy something used, you can grow a pretty good size investment portfolio just from making that one decision. The fourth decision is going to be when you actually start your investing journey. Let's take a look at 2 people. First, we have attentive Alex, who starts investing at 25 years old. And we have weekend warrior Waylon, who starts investing at 35. Both of them want to retire at 60. And both of them are going to be able to invest $500 a month into the stock market. But since weekend warrior Waylon is starting at 35, his portfolio is only going to be worth $590,000. And while at the age of 60, that's still pretty good to have. If we look at attentive Alex, who started at 25, he'll have over $1.6 million by the age of 60. So a 10-year difference in starting time yielded an extra $1.1 million. And the fifth and final decision is going to be your career. If you're working for a company that, you love working for them and everybody treats you well, that's good. But there also needs to be a ladder you can climb to constantly increase your salary, because it's going to be hard to get ahead when everything seems to be going up in cost. If you don't have that option to grow in either your department or in the whole company, you should probably try to find a place that will value you and give you the option to grow. Because in the long term, if you stay at the company that's not promoting from within, it's only going to hurt you in the long term. Many companies out there, though, have programs where they actually fund you to learn some new skills or take some certificate programs. Taking these certificate programs can show to either your manager or maybe even your senior director that you're really trying to get ahead, and it shows that you're hungry for more. So you might not get overlooked the next time a promotion comes around. And the scariest thing of all would actually be changing jobs, because you have to deal with new faces, new coworkers, new work environment, new standards. And the job market is super competitive right now. But this can boost your income probably 10 to 15% by just changing jobs. And something that's always talked about, but I still think is very underrated, is having a side hustle. If you're just adding a few $100 every month and you're putting that towards savings or investing, it'll make a huge difference over time. And who knows, maybe after a few years, you can scale that to replace your 9 to 5 and you can own your own business, which can give you the freedom to do what you want. Did you notice something about this video? None of these points were about skipping out on coffee, couponing, or making small adjustments. These are all big picture items. Most wealth is built through a handful of huge decisions that will impact your life, not thousands of tiny ones. And that's what separates the average people and the wealthy people, is that the wealthy people noticed these choices and made the correct decisions. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and comment down below what you think the biggest decision is out of all these 5. If you like the content I'm posting, hit the subscribe button. I'm posting personal finance and investing content twice a week to help you build wealth. Thanks for watching.